Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this Feast of the Holy Family. We're still in the Christmas season, so Merry Christmas. And, we're back to saying Merry Christmas. So we're in that celebration. And so the Sunday after Christmas is always the Feast of the Holy Family. So we have a reading from St. Luke's Gospel, chapter 2. And it says, each year, Jesus' parents went up to Jerusalem for the Feast of Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up according to festival custom. After they had completed its days, as they were returning, the boy Jesus remained behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Thinking that he was in the caravan, they journeyed for a day and looked for him among their relatives and acquaintances. But not finding him, they returned to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were astounded at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said to him, "Son, why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been looking for you with great anxiety." And he said to them, "Why were you looking for me? Did you not know I must be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he said to them. He went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. And his mother kept all these things in her heart. And Jesus advanced in wisdom and age and favor before God and man. The Gospel of the Lord. Well, this is one of the most beautiful little stories in the Gospel. And it's one of the only ones we have of Jesus' childhood. We have very little detail about that. There are other writings that date from the 2nd and 3rd century that purport to be stories of Jesus' childhood, but the church has never really taken them very seriously. This is from the Gospel, so it has a power and a weight historically. And it really tells us so much. This has always been associated with one of the joyful mysteries of the Rosary, but I've always felt that it is more like a sorrowful mystery. First Jesus is lost, and you can imagine the anguish of Joseph and Mary. After they'd been so careful to take care of Jesus, even having to flee to Egypt when he was a baby to protect him, and then wait till King Herod was dead to return. And now they lose him in the crowd. They used to take caravans back and forth from the north, which was a whole couple of days' walk. And for protection, they would go in caravans. And so it was easy to lose somebody in the caravan, where they'd be with other people or relatives and friends. And so they rush back there and they find him among the doctors of the law. And that's definitely a joyful moment. But then there's a hint of sadness too, because when Jesus says, "Did you not realize I must be in my Father's house?" And he's there with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes, and he's discussing the law and the revelation of God in the Old Testament. And so there's a hint there that Jesus' mission is far beyond his family of Mary and Joseph, far beyond Nazareth, and that his future is going to be very separate from them. And so there's a hint of that sadness there. But then St. Luke reminds us that he did go back up to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them and grew in wisdom and grace. So you can just imagine that life of the Holy Family. Very devout. It was quite a thing for a family to go every year to the Feast of the Passover. And they made that long journey. So there was a very devout household there where Jesus was nurtured in faith and hope and love. And that's the way we need to make our families too. Make them places where the faith thrives and grows, where we put God first and we love each other thanks to God's love for us. And then we got to be a little bit more like Mary too. It says she kept all these things in her heart and she pondered them. She reflected on them. This mystery of Jesus as the Messiah, little by little, was going to be revealed to her, how that was going to work, exactly what that meant. And so that's the attitude we need to take in our heart, about the things that happen to us, to ponder them in our heart and meditate on them. Merry Christmas.